Welcome to Think Big with Dan and Qasim. Join hosts Dan Melnick and Qasim Masood as they explore big ideas, limitless possibilities, and engage with visionaries, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders who dare to dream big, get inspired, motivated, and find practical tips for personal growth. Think big, dream bigger, and ignite your potential.
Welcome to the Think Big with Dan and Qasim. Today, our guest is Josh. Josh, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good, thank you. Awesome. So, Josh, will you let us know where you live and what you do?
I'm in Austin, Texas, and I own the Ads Tutor, which is a paid ads agency that manages ads for clients as well as one-on-one tutoring and consulting, teaching small business owners and small marketing teams how to run ads for themselves.
Awesome. So, Josh, from where you got this inspiration to start this business? Because every business do have their why. So, what is your biggest why?
I was trying to differentiate myself as an agency once I created my business. And I was trying to, really stand out when I know that maybe a lot of people, first of all, there's a lot of ad agencies that are competent, but then there's even other ad agencies that are not competent. And I was frustrated by the idea that those agencies could just be better at sales and win all the clients. And, I have a ton of background and a ton of knowledge in this space and experience. And so, but if I'm just not as good at selling, then I might not be able to compete. So I was trying to come up with a way to really stand out. And I thought about, I know this so well that what I can do that many of other agencies or other so-called experts can't do is teach. And so that's kind of where the Ads Tutor inspiration came from and the idea of helping small business owners and teaching them how to do it on their own rather than having to pay a monthly retainer to an agency.
Awesome. So, just from my understanding, who are your best customers? How you segment your customers?
Small business owners, medium business owners, medium-sized businesses, companies that are looking to scale, and even better, looking to scale aggressively. Those are companies that I can really help. They're on the same page as me, and they're wanting to really push things as much as they can in their business to grow, and I can help on the ad side of things.
Well, that makes sense. Completely makes sense. So obviously you are helping others, but obviously you have to help yourself as well. And marketing is one of the biggest part, not the biggest part, but yeah, you can say one of the big part in any industry, in any company to support the sales. So are you doing any marketing for your own company?
Sure. I run ads. I do organic LinkedIn posting and commenting and outreach. Those are the main two channels that I've explored.
So, Josh, do you think ads work well for product and services both? Because, for product, we can understand ad may work if you are selling chocolate and customer just have to click on a button and they will purchase it, done, it will be delivered. But in case of services, this is pretty different. Do you think ads can work for the services as well?
For sure. They definitely can work for the services. I've made it work for all kinds of services. What's important is, I think, trust, building trust, which you can do through ads and through a good website. Also email can help with that as well, giving more value, giving knowledge, helping the customer understand your services and experience and things like that. So there's obviously a few things you got to nail down, but if you nail those down, you can definitely use ads to sell services.
Well, that makes sense. Awesome. So, Josh, have you ever faced a situation when you had to do some pivot? Because pivot is one of the scary word in the industry of entrepreneurship. You can say pivot and on the other hand, challenges. So everybody faces challenges, but still this is scary for everybody. And on the other hand, pivot is also scary. So have you ever faced any situation when you had to make a pivot and that pivot had any impact or not?
Definitely. I would say the biggest pivot was moving from a management only agency to a management agency that also offers tutoring and consulting and courses and things like that. So really trying to figure out the right business model. The business model has been there forever. You manage clients' ads, and there you go. You're an agency. But I was really trying to figure out something different and stand out. And I think the pivot to tutoring has actually worked out really well for the right person. It's the perfect service. And I love teaching. I love working with I get to work with these small business owners, and they get to see the results that they are driving through ads, and their confidence building and their excitement building. And it's really fun to consult and to help and to take them on that journey.
Makes sense. Awesome. So Josh, because you are teaching many entrepreneurs, right? So obviously you interact with other entrepreneurs, and especially the one who are running a small business, or one who are small business owners. So what is the biggest mistake that small business owners are doing? And this can be a recurring mistake for many entrepreneurs. So if you have an idea.
I would say from an ads perspective, it's definitely not setting up the pixel and the tracking correctly. I'm a big stickler for that because that's how the algorithm targets people. That's how it finds your customer. It's not really through building the perfect audience, because these algorithms have so much more data on us than an audience ever could have. So it's really about making sure that the pixel is set up correctly and that you are feeding it good data. And from there, it learns who your target audience is way better than you'll ever know who your target audience is. And so I think I hear all the time, oh, I just spend a couple grand a month and I don't have tracking and, whatever. And I'm just like, to me, that throwing that money down the drain. I would definitely want to at least understand what's working and what's not, and train the pixel with my hard-earned money that I'm spending.
Awesome. That's a beautiful thing. So, Josh, every business owner faces challenges, and because of challenges, many entrepreneurs just burn out. Many companies just shut down because of continuous challenges. So, but yeah, this is part of the game. Challenges are meant to be for the entrepreneurs, I think. But yeah, I'm sure you must have faced many challenges, but can you share one most interesting challenge with us? And if you can let us know how you were able to cope up with it.
Yeah, I would say the challenge is, at least when you're starting out as a new business, you wear a lot of hats. You're the accountant, you're the marketing person, you're the client services person. You are all the hats, all the things, all the time. And it's really hard to, make sure I'm running the ads correctly for all of my clients, and then also still step back and make sure I'm doing the same good things for my business as well. For a while, I was feeling that burnout. I was feeling very chaotic, running around like a chicken with its head cut off. So I needed to, really figure out a better way to do things. And, first I started with trying to block my time better and really do deep work in certain increments so that I could try to get as much done as possible with my time and be efficient. But there's just so much to do that even that wasn't enough. Eventually, I figured out that hiring is the way to go. Hiring and getting some help and not being the one person to do all the things is really the way to go. I waited too long to do my first hire, and that is something that I would have done sooner if I could go back in time.
Awesome. So what is your acquisition process, like client acquisition process? Because everybody may have different process. And in this process, do you have any eligibility criteria of the clients? Like you can say, like if someone is running a healthcare business, no, I will say no. So if you have any criteria?
Yeah, there's a few industries that I just think are difficult for ads to be successful in. I really try to focus on e-commerce, like B2B SaaS is very easy to scale. You can sell one person or 1 million people, and it doesn't really change the costs for that business owner. And I like local services too, because they need those services and they're looking for you. So those 3 industries I like, and I try to get mostly from those 3 industries.
Makes sense. Awesome. So Josh, how do you measure your success? Because success may have multiple parameters to measure, and revenue is one of them. And I think the revenue is on the top. But other than revenue, do you have other parameters to measure your success?
Yeah, I think for me, a lot about being a business owner is having freedom to be with my family when I need to be, and freedom to step back when I need to, or, maybe control that burnout a little bit better. If you are stuck in a 9 to 5 and you work for another company, you might not have the luxury of doing those kinds of things. So I think to me, that's where I can see some success other than just the revenue and the income and things like that.
Well, that completely makes sense. Awesome. So, at the end, Josh, can you guide us about making the short-term and long-term goals? How you define that short-term and long-term goals? Like, what's the process of defining these goals?
That's a good question. I think for short term, it's identifying what are my blockers currently, what are my priorities currently, and then coming up with, a plan to get to either remove each of these blockers or get to these goals and these priorities. I think that's how I do short-term goals. Long-term, I could probably be better at. I don't think I have the greatest process for long-term goals and long-term planning.
All right. So, what are your short-term goals in next 6 months, maybe?
Short-term goals, increasing the leads that are coming through, increasing my pipeline. I am trying to maybe come up with a new service. I'm thinking about right now I do this one-on-one tutoring, and I'm thinking about doing an expanded one on, 1 to 10 or 1 to 5 person group tutoring, where maybe it's like an AMA, ask me anything for an hour. So I'm kind of thinking about new services, new ways that I can add value, and what are the blockers to getting that live and getting that.
Fabulous. Awesome. So, Josh, can you please give us the biggest piece of advice for our viewers who are entrepreneurs, or maybe they are still trying to be an entrepreneur?
So I think it's about, you're going to want to do everything in the beginning because it's cheaper that way and you have more control that way, but you're not the best at everything, and you're certainly not the best at everything when you're stretched so thin. So find the things that you enjoy doing, find the things that you are good at doing, and start delegating where you can, and slowly ramp up that delegation. Slowly come up with, 1 or 2 jobs that can be outsourced, and grow from there. And then that really frees up your time to work on more important things. And that's when you really get to push your business forward.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, Josh, so nice of you. Thanks for joining us today. I really enjoyed the conversation. But before we hop off, can you please let our viewers know how they can reach you? Maybe if they want to inquire your services, or if they want to just have a chit chat with you, you can share your website or social media handles, whatever you want to.
Yeah, you can find me at theadstutor.com. Drop me a message there. You can find me on LinkedIn, and all the socials basically. So I'm most active on LinkedIn and my website. So those would be the 2 top places to find me and get a conversation going.
Well, that's great, Josh. Thank you so much again for joining us today. It was really nice talking to you.
Yeah, thank you for having me. This was awesome.
Have a good day and stay in touch. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.